I purchased this 1973 Dodge Sportsman Royal van, but it has some kind of electrical issue with the ignition system. I've done some testing with the wiring. I've checked the ignition modules, coil, everything seems to be in working order. But after 2 or 3 starts, this thing won't start anymore, it loses spark. And I've tried every which way from Sunday to get that thing sorted out. And there's frankly better options. So in this video, we're going to replace the factory MoPar electronic ignition system with an HEI unit. You can see the electronic ignition system, ballast resistor, ignition control unit, and distributor. And the wiring. With this HEI install, we're going to get rid of all that. The new HEI kit came with the distributor, plug wires, and the new coil. So it's going to be a straightforward install, I'm pretty sure. I've not installed one of these yet, but I've been seeing them around for years and I'm kind of curious, so what better way to see what it's about than to put one in for myself. This van has a 360 V8. This install should be the same for the 318, a 340, or 360, any MoPar small block. And pretty much the same for MoPar big block too, because both engine types have the slotted distributors. This HEI system is all self-contained in the distributor. There's an ignition module right on the distributor itself. It's not one of the big GM HEIs that you're thinking of. It's got the huge red obnoxious cap that don't fit in a lot of applications. This one actually, for the most part, kind of looks like a factory deal. It's just got a black distributor cap. You can even get the old style cap. Instead of having the male leads on the cap, you can have the female leads on the cap. So it kind of would look appropriate if you glanced under the hood of a car. On this van, it doesn't really matter because you can't even really see it unless you pull the motor cover off. They offer other colors, but I just went with the straight traditional black, black wires, even though you can't see it, but I like stuff for the most part being stock, or at least stock appearing. This whole thing, the distributor itself, it has 2 wires off of it. You put those on the positive and negative coil, and you put a power source on the coil. That's it, and the van should be running. So with that being said, let's pop the motor cover off and get to work, and hopefully have this thing running in no time. I don't imagine this taking very long. So in order to do this, we're going to have to remove the motor cover inside the van. Now on both sides, there are these latches, which you just open like that. And then there is a latch here. There's a large Phillips head screw. There's one on the opposite side, on the passenger side. And there's also one here on the very back. So you just loosen up those 3 screws, move the latches over, and this whole cover will come right off. And you can tip it up to where it won't hit the dash and pull it on out. And you can prop it up there or pull it on out so you can have space to work. So anyways, let's get started. So first things first, going to note where that rotor button's facing, just so I know that I've put the new distributor in the right spot. So here's the brand new one. Which is supposed to just drop right in, but I've heard that before. So if we pop the cap off, we can see where that rotor button's facing. Now on MoPars, at least on small block and big block, the distributor can only really go in 2 ways since it's a slotted shaft. So you're either right or you're wrong. This distributor loose. hold down clamp. And this van was equipped with electronic ignition, so unplug that. The vacuum advance hose. We'll slide this up and out. And put my new one with that rotor button oriented the same way. To the engine. There we go. I have multiple coils here because I was doing various testing, but I disconnect those. Kit came with a new coil, so let me take the old one off. Well, I already see a difference here. The new bracket versus the original bracket, so I'm going to have to swap those. Using my handy dandy tool here that I use for more things than it should be used for. Take that old bracket off. Loosen up this original bracket a little bit more. It's on there. Okay, original bracket. Slide the new coil into the original bracket. I guess I'll see how it fits before I tighten it down. I'll probably scoot that over. That ought to work. So we got 2 wires, red to the positive coil, black to the negative coil. So we'll put that wire on there for negative. Move those over here so they're kind of tidier, I guess. Run them underneath. Tighten those up. Tighten the coil clamp back down so it's not flopping around. Stick the distributor mount tab back on. An annoying time where the ratchet's just not enough and your fingers are just not enough to get a nut loose. I'm gonna need to connect to the positive, the key power source. Don't want to forget that or this thing ain't gonna work. Coil wire there. It's hooked up. Not sure how I'll route these just yet. Got some bad boy HEI wires. There are different lengths, so you're going to have to match up each one, the one you take off, I reckon. If you do know the time and order, sure, you can just like rip them all off and do it that way, but you can also take them one at a time off, so you see where the snap goes on. I like to start here and then it matches here to here. So I know that plugging this one in here, I can follow this wire a couple wire looms here there. Take those off. So this wire is going to right here. Pull this off. And then plug this wire in. It is the shortest one, so I'll use that one there. Yep, okay. I'll pull this one off. This one looks to be a short one as well. So I'll grab the next short one. Can't say working in advance kind of nice because you have a seat to sit in while you're working. This is a little bit longer, so I use one of the long wires. Okay. Now I can do the other bank. Let's go with the shortest one. Got all the spark plug wires installed in the looms, nice and tidy, keep them out of the way. Another thing that needs to be done is bypassing that. And that is the ballast resistor. You don't need it with this system. So you can make a jumper wire to connect it so you get the run circuit. Okay, I haven't adjusted the timing or anything like that. Kind of got it where I think it needs to be. And let's see what happens. Needs the timing adjusted, but it runs. Pretty simple. Before it just crank and crank and crank and crank, and sometimes it'd start, sometimes it wouldn't. One thing I had to do was move all the spark plug wires over one. The way the rotor was positioned on the new distributor is actually one off. So in order to have the module towards the back and the vacuum advance off to the right, how the original was, and for the hose to hook up, I had to move all of the plugs over one. So I just went over one, and that would allow the distributor to rotate. The final step was to do the timing, break out the timing lot. And the motor cover's back installed, ready to drive.